Say that again.
We're live on S.STREET Media already.
You can
YouTube wise.
Oh, so you doing a
I'm starting to do that now.
Oh, okay. So would it be all of these angles is on right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It just is. Isaiah, you can drop that.
All right.
All right, we getting ready. Morning sign is up. S.STREET Media. Sign. Oh wait, I gotta stop it. Pardon me. No Grindhard picture. I erased a lot of stuff off the computer. Pardon me.
That's right. So gravy. That's why the log is getting all of that. Over there. That's goody. Is that Paloma cuisine? Let's see. I'll bring it in with a little something.
A little something what?
Track or something.
Music wise.
Trying to get my no, someone's always up with my Wi-Fi on this laptop. Oh yeah.
I step out the window, my phone to work.
Okay. Yo.
I have to turn up my What's good, T?
Rhonda. What's up, Rhonda? How you feeling? We here.
You should stay on this live because I'm gonna talk about us getting married.
Is that T? What's up, T?
Yeah, I said what up, T?
Yeah, 360. We here on what is this? The Grindhard
TV
podcast.
That's what this is.
At S.STREET Media.
Yep.
Give everybody a 360 of what's going on, how it's going down.
Yeah.
So we're gonna converse a little.
You got the music. Is music on?
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Early.
That's it.
Still eating.
This is the time to snack.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Go in.
In 1 minute.
Whippy.
Good.
I don't even have my. I don't see you. I can't see comments down there. Can't read on my glasses.
You got glasses on. You just don't got the right one.
I don't have the right ones. I know.
Shout out to everybody that's live on S.STREET Media YouTube as well.
That's right. Big shout. Got multiple angles, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it? Which one's
That's the real one right there.
this one here?
Which one is the one that's the live
Is
one?
it
That's
two
the
shot?
one that's on the
The
camera.
live one is right here.
Okay, so that's live. 2-shot. This is the real one. What's that?
These
right
are
there?
the two angles, the two
Okay,
recorded
so
angles.
that's yours.
This is a live. Actually, this is both of us, and that one is just you.
Okay. Okay. Drill down on it.
All right, we're done.
Yeah. Show business was good. Grindhard TV podcast, you know.
Actual business.
You know the girl code is I think AZ's daughters. Yeah, there's something to him because he's managing them going around with them.
Get the
fuck
out of
Yeah, that's a fact. He was relating his daughters or something to him because he's the one that runs them. You can tell from the way they got that vibe, you know, that's him. So shout out Showbiz and MG, you know, contributing to the new culture, having their seats, doing their thing, just like I did with the horse. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people keep asking about the horse music.
Take your time.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people keep asking me about them. Like, yo, what's up with them? Is they gonna come back in the game? Like, they made a little impact a little year, so they was out there doing their thing. I grinded them down, boy.
They got a little flavor for it. Being in the lanes.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to the Hawks.
Yeah, that's what's up, Joe.
Word. So which quarter is starting? The one assignment is up.
Yeah, we going right through the
S.STREET Media thing is coming up now. The countdown is
Yeah, we gonna hit it right on time like we usually do.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, that's the new song.
What's good, everybody? Happy March. You know, this is the first show in March, so we are now like ending March. We're getting into the end of the first quarter. You know what I mean? And for everybody that know the different quarters in business or hip hop is or business period is 4 quarters in a year, which is 3 months apiece. And we're now in March, so we're ending the first quarter and going into the second. So shout out to everybody that got a lot of things accomplished in the top of the year, because everybody was like, oh, new year, new me. This year's mine, and next year I'm going to really do my thing. So if you really do shit in these first 2 months into the third month, then salute to you. You know what I mean? Hand clap to that.
Make sure you file those taxes.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's so. And the voice you hear me talking to, or you heard in the back talking about taxes, you know what I'm saying? That's is right there, is now. You know what I mean? And he's very hip and suave on taxes and just economic stuff, period. I don't just say taxes. You know, economically, he's a very good person to know. You know what I'm saying?
Cash, homie.
Word up. So, and he is now here on Grindhard TV podcast, and that's what it is. So we're going to talk about economics and money and everything like that, but we also want to get into a lot of the new headlines that was out, and I'm really kind of disgusted about a lot of things and certain issues that's coming up in the game, or not in the game, but in America right now. Like, it's taking my mind off the creative part of things. That, you know what I mean? Like my creativity, I can be very influenced creative-wise by furiousness and vengeance. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean. Like, I just want to create like videography, music, you know, marketing, things that doing better things with my children, and you know what I'm saying? But some of the headlines that's going on today is making me look at things like vengeful and disheartening and angry emoji face. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So I want to talk about this. And one of the headlines is, you know, in Mississippi, they're saying that they reinstated the Jim Crow laws. Now, for everybody that don't know what the Jim Crow laws is, that was when back in the days, and not too long ago, maybe like 60 years ago, supposedly really been finished. But this is when Caucasian people was able to just do whatever to Black people, and we were never wrong. What we now today call Karens would say some shit and lie about a black person doing something to them, and an angry mob of white people on their horses or their horse and carriages or in their pickup trucks will go and attack the person and kill them and hang them and burn them while hanging them and take pictures next to it and take little burnt pieces of the body and have them as souvenirs. And I know for a fact that I'm not allowing that to happen to me or my family. So if they're trying to reinstate laws back like that, like something got to be done about that, or that has to be national news, because a lot of people is not really talking about it. And that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I was live today in studio with like-minded people that can, you know what I mean, really address the situation in a very articulate way. You feel me? Because this shit is ridiculous, and I'm kind of upset and offended by the shit. So I want to talk about it. So I got is now in here with me, and we got Math. You know, actually we got Styled by Poverty in here producing the show as usual, as y'all know. And I want to hear like some of the takes on this. So yo, like let us know like what's your take on that and how you feel about that.
Well, it's heavy when you first hear the. First, let me say thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here on
Definitely.
Grindhard TV podcast. I'm hearing about it for a while, checking it out. I'm happy to be here. Yes,
that's a fact.
You know, you hear Jim Crow, automatically the first thing that comes into our mind is it won't be me. All right, I ain't gonna be the one, you know, getting hung, burnt, whatever, you know, craziness.
Yeah.
But you know, media folks who or you know sort of derive their money from clicks and advertising and that sort of thing to put up flashy headlines that really grab at us and get our attention. So just to hear Jim Crow, we don't want to automatically just go running out in the street ready to, you know,
so
fight back against our Caucasian.
Should we look it up and don't get it twisted? Like I agree with you. Like you said, fight against our Caucasian brother. Like there's a lot of white people out there that I'm really close to that's like family to me and stuff like that. That's a known fact out here. So it's not against or just going against the white people. It's making sure that white people can't do what they did back then.
Yeah, no, but you did.
That's just a fact. Like
I don't want to be.
I don't give a fuck how much we friends. Like that's not just gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm looking into what it goes on behind the headline, and so a couple.
But hold on, let me play the post first that I posted.
Okay.
Because a lot of people's been commenting on it, and some of my white friends and black friends or followers, they were kind of like getting at each other in the comments and stuff. So I want to play what the girl was saying and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Six, to start a motherfucking army.
Hold up.
To protect your fellow people. Because if y'all don't know how fucking serious this shit is about to get if they pass that motherfucking law. Make long story short, if a white person did something to you, guess what? They getting off fucking free. Period, point fucking blank. You guys are the only army we have right now. You Bloods, you Crips, you SR13s, all y'all Lang Kings, all y'all motherfuckers. Y'all are the only protection that we have right now. Like I said, we can't depend on the motherfucking government. We cannot depend on motherfucking cops. And it's sad, like I said, it's sad that I have to log onto the fucking internet and find this shit when this shit should have made national motherfucking news. With that being said, strap the fuck up. That's all I know. Is just strap the fuck up. Protect yourself. Protect your families.
All right. All right. What you got to say about that?
Listen.
Is now tell me what you feel about that.
All right. Before the sister, you know, she is you can never put anything past America, right? So like I won't even pretend like the possibility of the wildest things we could ever think of happening or coming back again aren't possible or are impossible to come back again, right? So
it happened in this country already, not that far ago, son.
It could happen, it can happen, right? But right, all of this right now is I just want to speak to what the actual events occurring in Mississippi are.
Okay.
And then we can talk about strapping up for the race war that might be coming. All right.
So is you gonna play
let's take
something
it
or you gonna read it?
No, well, I
What?
pulled it out. I want to source it so people
Okay.
understand it's, you know.
You
So
need your other glasses or something?
nah, I think I
Good?
can see.
Okay,
I
cool.
got it on 150%.
I just want to make sure.
Right.
We live on a lot of spots.
I do have my glasses
If
over
you
here.
want to
I
get
need
them,
them,
if you want to get them,
back.
when you start reading, I don't want you to like, now people like, how the fuck this nigga gonna know shit? He don't even know how to read. Because you can't see.
Nah, it's a little fuzzy. I think I'll keep it.
All right.
So this is from the Mississippi Today, right? So Mississippi Today, I guess this is their like sort of I don't know. Looks like a print article or print paper.
Is it from a
That's
valuable?
Yeah, it seems
reputable-
reputable. I mean, I'm seeing the same story on all of. Really, who's reputable now, right? They either withhold information or purposefully lie to their, viewers for political. So whatever, information right now it's a fire hose, and we got to sort of try to knife through and find what's really real or factual, right?
Right.
But given what this is saying here, we're going to take it as from the Mississippi Today, MississippiToday.org.
Okay.
Right, and it says the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals has affirmed a lower court ruling allowing a provision of the 1890 Mississippi Constitution designed to keep African Americans from voting to remain in place, right? So first off, just from reading that, it's a law that was already on the books, so it seems, and it's being upheld,
Right.
right? So to say in the headline that they're bringing it back and we got to be ready, automatically that is debunked by what actually happened, facts on the ground. It's already been on the books for all this time, and they're voting to reinforce it.
Yeah, but when you think about it, right, there were laws back then that they can rape, rob, pillage, and hang and lynch black people. So that laws was already on it. Even in the laws, we are not even considered equal human beings to white people.
What? Wait, say that again.
There's laws where it says we're not even full human. That
There
we're
were
not
once 3/5
right, but what I'm saying,
that was
you think that was taken out, or that just was like closed?
Closed is, all due
Just like they
respect, not
closed
a
that
legal
law, where they
term.
talking about they want to do the Jim Crow shit again. That was already on the books. They just stopped it when they're supposed to free everyone, but all those laws are still in the laws.
Well, this particular law talks about felons being able to vote, right? And in Mississippi, according to this article, felons in Mississippi are not allowed to vote. Now, we know, and I'll have to sort of do a little bit more digging, but I believe some voting rights for felons have been reinstated federally here now. So this Mississippi law seems to sort of fly in the face of the larger social movement that we have for our brothers, our returning citizens, mostly, who are getting some of their rights back, their gun rights, their voting rights, all wonderful things. But it seems like this particular law in Mississippi is flying in the face of the sort of populist wave to get, incarcerated felons some of their rights back. Do I agree or disagree with Mississippi's rule? I don't. So personally, before I go into my agree or disagree, because I don't agree with it, right? But it's already on the book. So who am I to disagree?
Of course, it's on the
with
books.
something?
It was like we were considered less than, and they were doing anything to us. It's in the history books from Emmett Till to even now, up to date stuff like Sandra Bland, George Floyd.
No doubt.
It's the same thing going on now. So for them to really be talking about it, it's just putting a fire on something that's still actually going on right now. All of these people that were, and she said it in this post, I don't know if I started it too early or whatever, but she said, we can't even trust these cops. We can't even trust the black cops.
That's
because those cops went out there and they practically lynched that guy.
I got a lot of police officer friends, a lot of good people in NYPD
I do.
who I know personally, and I love them. So I'm not going to talk bad about them. Yes,
I'm talking bad about cops. Wasn't I just on the last show where I said a cop pulled me over when I was on my way to Rich's funeral?
Oh, I'm not saying you talking bad about them, just for the record.
All right, cool. I want to just clarify everything because we had to clarify stuff up. But we know police force was started to catch slaves, freed slaves.
That is, to my understanding, the original force was a slave capturing force.
I would look at you as one of the smartest guys I know. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like in the police sign, their little logo, there's a fucking slave master with a whip in the logo.
Oh, I never
Yeah.
noticed that.
Look, we can look that up too.
Okay.
In the police, in the police logo that they have, it's a slave master with a whip, bro.
Yeah.
Still to this day,
you know.
that's on it. Like, so it's actually.
But if I could push back on that a little bit, right? Because there are lots of things that started from one thing and that have evolved to a larger sort of benefit to our society.
Our lives, bro, evolve into something else. When we make families and we branch off and start our own families and our own generations. Everything is going to evolve, but sometimes things all happen again.
Police and fire are a necessity in our society, I believe, to keep and maintain civil order as we all socially agree.
And everybody's not going to be good. And everybody's not going to be bad.
That's right. Once you are, it seems like a lot of folks are accepting more of the power and appreciating the power rather than the responsibility. And then once that power goes to their head, you see what happens in Minnesota and where was that? This latest one. I don't even remember. So many. Mississippi, everywhere. Just America, right? You don't even have to name the states anymore. It's just like everywhere, right?
Everywhere is fucked up, bro. Everywhere. And
well, like, you know what? I'm gonna push back on that too, right? Because I think everywhere seems to be more fucked up because of these things that we are able to connect with all the time.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't fucked up for me this morning in the neighborhood, just walking around, going through this, that, and the other thing. It wasn't fucked up for fire.
Yeah, because I'm home in the crib with wifey and
family,
but
people.
At the same time, what the fuck was that?
The microphone fell out of its hole.
So there's a lot of places where they were fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just weird to me how now with all of this technology, we're seeing a lot of the stuff that's already been going on. Like, just because this is a different age and we have different technology, that doesn't mean that all of the stuff that we're seeing online now wasn't happening 10 times over, because a lot of these laws were in effect. And a lot of people could go around and do whatever the fuck they wanted. And this is why a lot of us, we're mixed with Caucasians, because our great-great-grandmothers were raped by their slave masters. And our great-grandmothers were born. Well, our great-great-grandmothers were born, and then they started a whole family. And we're all descendants of some slave master raping our great-great-grandmothers in the barn because they owned them, they were their property. And our existence was started. You got to take that into consideration, because that shit is real. Absolutely real. Still to this day, it's ironic that a lot of our people are dying from eating the same soul food that the slaves would give our ancestors as scraps and slops, and they turned it into delicacies that is now killing a lot of us to this day.
No doubt. No doubt about that. Not to blow the secret for your guest here, but you don't have to go too far for our slave master blood dilution story, right? Our grandfather, right? Julius, I forgot his middle name. Something Bryant, I forgot his middle name. He is the son of a Hasidic Jew who had an inappropriate sexual relationship with his floor washing maid, who was our great grandmother, who just happened to be a Native American woman.
Yep.
He had this inappropriate relationship, fathered this child, our grandfather, kicked her out, kicked them to the curb, and he suffered the cultural unacceptance of the Native American side because of his white skin and his long, stringy hair, and obviously the Hasidic Jew side,
His grandpa was German Jew, right?
Yeah. And
he looked like an Indian.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, my mom's kind of
your mom's resembles him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But talk about, right? The black man gets a lot of strife. Oh, your father and children all over the place, right? But there's two things to that narrative, right? Number one, as property, of the owners in those early times. And here, our bodies were used as broods, you know, or not broods, but steeds or bucks,
Right.
you know, to breed,
They
right?
were cattle.
We was used as cattle.
They
right?
were even making mothers and sons fuck, make babies so they can feed them to alligators. And that's where they get the term gator bait from.
Look at that. And so you add that cultural difference from what our native tribal heritage was, along with you know, today's sort of I don't know how you want to term it, but like the perpetuation of this.
You want some of this?
What is that? Oh yeah, I'll take a little swig. Why not? Getting light in here. Take a little, yeah, pour me a little bit in there. Right? But that original behavior was derived from, you know, those who once owned us, using our women in that regard, right? Multiple sexual partners and breeding us with each other and all of this sexual sort of stuff, you know, that wasn't inherent in the tribal African.
Well, you know,
way.
the colonizers, they not only like made mothers and sons and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews have sex, they were also having sex with their property. You know, when I say property, I mean humans.
No doubt.
So
No
not
doubt.
only the women they was raping, they were raping the men too. That was called buck breaking.
Oh,
They would rape the men in front of the family to show the family that they were in control and that man didn't have the power.
He didn't have
I don't give a fuck how big and strapping he was, because most of them slaves were strong men.
no doubt.
But those white men
No
would
doubt.
bend them over, right in them town, in front of everybody, his wife, children, everybody, and fuck him in the ass.
Or cut off his joint.
Cut off his dick and balls.
I mean, it's all been, you know, in the sort of dominance of, right, us, the big black threat, right? But you know, the spirit is strong and couldn't be broke. So, you know, there's been multiple ways.
We couldn't be
Coming
broke.
in
We couldn't be
trying
broke
to break
individually, but I think as a people, we have some issues that we gotta fix.
Oh, no question. I think, you know.
And I think Homegirl was kind of right. All of these gang members and all these Bloods, Crips, and all these essays and all of the motherfuckers that want to bang over a block or a color, like it's time to bang for your ethnicity.
That's an interesting question. Ethnicity, right? We talked about that a bit. You know,
Yo,
Asian.
how come I could go to?
Indian.
How come we could go every city in the United States and it's a big Chinatown community? Why? You can go places a big Jewish community. You can go places it's a big Arab Pakistani community.
Is black an ethnicity?
African American is an ethnicity. It's just the fact that our skin is black, because there's other, like there's Latin people that's black.
African American an ethnicity?
Yeah, it is, because there's black people everywhere. So you just can't say, because there's Latin people, that's an ethnicity, but there's black Latin people. Just because some of them have like lighter melanated skin, there's black Mexicans, black Panamanians, black Dominicans. There's black, I mean, they are blacker than you, and they speak nothing but Spanish.
No.
That means there's black, because black people are only discriminated because of the color of their skin.
So when we say black, we mean the descendants of slaves.
Anybody that's black, because even in Haiti, the darker people are hated on by the lighter people. The Dominican people who are Latin, they hate on the darker Dominican people.
Yeah, I'm familiar with.
Even in Guyana, they're a Caribbean ruled country, but at the same time, the more Indian people don't like the blacker Guyanese.
Right.
But so it's all about skin color.
No, I dig that. And that's definitely sort of the mind poison that's come from
yes,
the
so we have to fix that.
But I ask you about specifically African American. And so all those places, Guyana, Haiti, Dominican Republic, all of those.
They're African, South American.
Yeah, ethnicities for sure. But I'm not sure if black is an ethnicity. And I'm not entirely sure if African American. I'm not really sure if
so Asian people, what would you consider them? Is that an ethnicity?
Yeah, I think well, I don't know. Asian is broad, right? Because we can be talking about Southeast Asian, you can be talking about Oriental, like
Talking about
Chinese, you can be talking
Tokyo,
about Taiwan,
Japan,
or whatever. Yeah,
Philippines, and they
100%.
don't like each other.
No doubt. Korean, or
Exactly.
whatever. Yeah,
Exactly.
sure.
So yes,
So
it has
but
to be
each one of those sort of subsets of what you would term Asian or Oriental or whatever has their own specific ethnicity with their own specific I don't know.
But what if they
values,
what are
symbols,
what are they all to you?
totems?
What are they all to you? Or black person, or black man? When you look at a Filipino Asian person, to a Japanese Asian person, to a Vietnamese Asian person, to a Chinese Asian person, what are they to you? They're Asian. They're Chinese. You don't look at Vietnamese as they're not Chinese because they're Vietnamese. Oh, they're not Chinese because they're Japan. No, when you look at them, they're all Asian to you. So their ethnicity is Asian. Just like when they look at all of us dark people, we're black to them. And some would say niggers.
So that
with the ER.
would be right, and that would be what we would call a social fact, right? We have but that social fact doesn't work in our best interests. Let me tell you.
That's why we
right?
have to change
because well, who is the we, right? Is it
Black
we,
people.
the community, black folks who have, to a large degree, very little say, or an increasingly larger say in the public narrative. But within our community, hold on, let me tell you this. A large say, I don't know. The grand media, you're gonna get maybe, I don't know the numbers, we can get a fact check.
Media dictates everything. Like when the government wants to fuck something over, they'll throw something in the media to fuck you all up. And if they want to take it real crazy, they'll throw a little pandemic in the mix. But black people, with our culture, we can kind of control the narrative. We can, but we're too busy. We don't control the narrative. We never control it. Because we're busy. We're too busy trying to be up at with these other people that we won't allow our popularity and our platforms to do that. It's not a lot of people that speak out about the real shit that's going on. Soon as Kanye West spoke out about it, look what happened to him. And there's many other big millionaires out there that have big platforms that everybody's paying attention to, but they won't say nothing about it because they don't want to give that same fate. This country has been built on showing black people that we're inferior to these people. And if you get out of line, you're going to get whipped. So it's a lot of black people that's in power that can really take a stand and spread the word about shit that won't say nothing. And the ones that do say something, oh, they're crazy, they're schizo, or they're bipolar.
I think you give the fissures and the fractures within our social hierarchy in our own community are just as much to blame for the lower end of our people suffering as, anything any Caucasian or redlining or any policies have done.
This guy's so damn smooth. He is so damn smooth.
I think we don't really control the distribution and the means to production on a mass scale that can affect the hearts and minds of people to really change the narrative on black, quote unquote. And when you are attributing black to a folk and you attribute that same terminology with negative connotation, whatever it is, welfare, crime, et cetera, then you're always painting everyone with that same broad brush. And if we really, in my mind, want to transform, evolve this society we live in, America, our country that we participated in building in. I mean, really, there's only three ways, right? Militarily, it's not gonna happen, right? We just don't have that sort of power. As much as the sister wants us to arm up our gangbangers, all due respect to my peoples, I know a lot of them on both sides, Colorado, LA, here, the homie and all of that, right? It's just not a lot of winds going that direction, right?
The government's been destroying whole cities. Like there's rivers in America that are cities, rivers that bury black cities.
Black folks not going to win a war for equality militarily. Politically, you got a much better shot, but it seems like, once you get to a certain age or a certain level, you're bound by what that swamp is. So economically, I believe and why I've devoted myself to everything I do every waking moment, being about empowering my mind and my folks and sharing information. Economically is the only way that I believe Black folks will have a real say in what happens
So
to
basically,
them
we got to
here
be in
in the
control
world.
of our spending and our dollars.
Well, a little bit more than, even before we in control of our dollars, I think we got to be in control of our minds, right? A lot of what we know about money is just wrong, false, inaccurate, debilitating, and,
But
consumerist.
money's really a big scam
focus.
anyway. Money,
Our
credit, all
dollar
that.
is not based on anything other than our credibility and our ability to produce GDP,
Yeah.
right? What's the GDP formula?
I just seen something online where we don't even really never own anything. No one in America. If you buy a house, you really don't own it. It's called some abla something. You can really own your stuff without nobody else saying anything to you about it. But you pay off your house and you think you own it. You really don't own it. The government could really come and take your shit whenever they choose to.
Yeah, I have no personal experience with that, and I'm not entirely sure of the phrase you're referring to. But to my understanding, if you do take out a lien with a bank and you pay off that mortgage, and you have that deed, and that financial contract is satisfied, you have that property ownership, and you're still responsible for the taxes.
Exactly. But so if you can't pay them taxes, would they not still take your shit?
Don't pay the taxes.
So then you never really own it, Ice.
Well,
how?
I guess.
If you paid off the deed and you say you own it, but you still got to pay taxes every month, and you can't afford them taxes, and they can still come take your shit after you paid off on it, so you never really owned it, son. You never really owned it.
Taxes are a part of
taxes is a scam that makes sure that we got to pay to be here, and all our social security numbers is really our EIN numbers, and we're all businesses. United States of America is an LLC, Inc.
And so the smart thing to do for people who are, right? You're not gonna, right? Who's changing the tax code today? Nobody. But what you can do is you can go read that code and apply those rules to your own circumstance and take advantage of the rules on the books. And that's what I'm about, rather than, so much railing against.
So before we get into what you're about, what you do, and what you can bring to the culture, I want to talk about my week. And for all of y'all that didn't know or don't know, your boy Worldorama is now off the market. I didn't tie the knot again.
I didn't tie the knot.
I didn't tie the knot again. You know what I'm saying?
First time, real time.
Yeah, well, I did it before. Y'all know from on the last couple of shows I was on here, and I was talking about how, my firstborn, Miki, aka Hoff 2, and I found out that he wasn't biologically my child. I was actually married to his mother, but I didn't let that traumatizing issue stop me from moving on and being in love again and marrying and remarrying again. And I did that, February 28th. Actually, this year, February 16th, is the first time I met my wife. And I wanted to make sure that we were married in February on our 15th anniversary. So we've been together 15 years, and I wanted to marry her on the 15th year. And that's what I did. And I always say what I'm going to do, and I do what I say. And we did that. So welcome to my family, Mrs. Bryant. And I always have fun with your family. You know what I'm saying? Every time we go out on vacations and cruises and parties and shit, I always have fun. There was a lot of ups and downs and trials and tribulations and hate each other phases and all that, but that's what relationships is about. We're both Tauruses and we love hard, and we sealed the deal. So yes, babe, thank you for taking me in, and I'm taking you in, and we now one. We're now one, you Mr. and Mrs. Bryant.
Black love, right? For all of those who say, right, you can't get with nobody because you got that No, we are capable of being emotionally mature enough to move on from that hurt, become whole beings again, and give ourselves to someone else.
Exactly.
Fully.
Because we make women wives, we start families, you know what I mean? And we have to appreciate the women that we have in our lives, because the ones that are good to us, not just
That's
the women
right.
that's in our lives. Because there's
That's
women in
right.
our lives that are not good to us.
Facts.
But the ones that are good to us, and you got to understand and know that I feel like I wanted to take myself off the market because I felt like this woman deserved it. She deserved to be a wife. And that's what it's all about with us men. If y'all ladies didn't know, when we want to marry you, well, some of us, because some dudes want to marry women because they need a place to stay, or they fucked up in the game and shit like that. But I married my woman after 15 years of being with her because I know she's the one. And that's just it.
Like you told me, she holds you down.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
can depend and rely on her when
Exactly.
you are having a tough go of it.
Yep.
And that's
As
real.
well as me for her.
Never mind all this.
Yeah.
I'm with you because some of them, it could be a bottomless pit or an empty hole, right? And you just filling it up with material nonsense or emotional, immature foolishness, right? When you know you have something that's special and long lasting, you go ahead and you commit to that. Yeah. But if it ain't that, you can't make it that.
Yeah, some dudes want to make it that, but
can't make something.
Yo, I ain't gonna front. Me and my lady, my wife. See, now I got see that. That's the thing now. Wow, this is my wife. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We've been through so much stuff together, from each other's families not getting along and each other's kids not getting along, and it's a lot that we went through. But our love conquered all, and we stuck this shit out. So, like, shout out Papoose and Remy Ma. They always promoting that black love shit. And, yo, when you love your woman, you love your woman, and your woman love you, and that's just what it is, man. And through thick and thin, y'all gonna, till death do y'all part, y'all gonna make that shit work.
Are they married?
That. Yeah, Remy and Pap is married for sure. That's a fact. You know what I mean? So black love all day, every day. And it ain't nothing wrong with black people marrying black people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a big stigma now, because a lot of men kind of want to try different nationalities now, even though whatever we deal with, we make it black. We make it black. When we shoot a seed up in any other culture, we make it in black. But, you know what I mean? It's all about keeping it in with your own, because that's what is really going on out here with all of these other nationalities. You know what I mean? They keeping it in with their own, and that's just how they sustaining the wealth and the the camaraderie with their own people. Like Jews have their own neighborhoods, Chinese people have their own neighborhoods, Arab people have their own neighborhoods, and they keep it in their family. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, us as black people got to do as well. So I feel good also to have married a black woman, and my queen. She's my queen, and that's just what it is. And I'm off the market now. So ladies, just know I'm off the market. So I don't go to places looking to see women and I can look all day, but I'm not out there trying to bag nothing and do all that.
Like, read the menu, no order.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Just read the menus and gawking and looking. Yeah. But I ain't looking for nothing else other than that.
Relationships can be tricky, man. They can be complicated, but if you can. I was having a heated discussion the other night, and I was saying, if we can come to understanding, right? Because we don't always see the world entirely the same, exactly the same. One situation can be viewed from two different perspectives, from two people who have different sort of cultural influences on their, informing their thoughts, right? So rather than assuming a thing is this or that, simply come to an emotional, mature place where I can communicate calmly and reasonably. This is what happened. This is what I see. Please tell me what you're going through there. Let's try to come to some understanding, because this thing upset me. This thing made me mad, or I felt a way about it, right? But I think once you start to get to the yelling and the screaming and the name calling right off the rip, it's just a bad way for communication.
Well, me and my lady, we went through a lot. We went to physical fights, arguing, saying hurtful shit to each other. We didn't been through all of that.
Yeah.
And if me and her could stand through the test of time, through all of that, and still love each other and still be attracted to each other, want to do things for each other, because I can't even front. Like, my lady, she does a lot for me. Like, I'm not talking about like financially. I'm just saying Like when we in a house, like she just a homebody type of old-fashioned woman that loves to tend to her man. She'll give me a little fight, a little something, because she's a Taurus, so she feisty, but she still does it.
Yeah.
Whether it's cooking, cleaning, whatever, just whatever. Like, and we gotta get what makes us feel special.
Yeah.
And I got me a special one, and I gave her my last name. So
Nice.
I love you, T. That's a fact, and you know it. I proved my love to you by letting you know, like, you mine now forever.
You ain't never
going
nowhere.
I ain't getting a divorce. This is my second marriage. I ain't getting a divorce no more.
That sounds like the headline.
Yeah, exactly. You know, us Tauruses, we real bull fool. You stuck with me forever.
T's good people.
Cause we already up there, man. We ain't young spring chickens no more. We middle age and shit. And that's another thing. I want to do that for my woman and make her a married woman. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of women grow up from when they're younger and they always talk about getting married and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for my baby. And I feel like, you know what? Ultimately, that's one of the great things I could do for her is make her a wife. And I did it. So
An honest woman.
yes, that's what they call it, honest woman. I'm glad you said that, Isaac. I wanted to make sure I said the right thing. And I wanted to make her an honest woman, and I love her. That's what I wanted to do for her. So here's my last name. You know what I mean? You're an honest woman. You know what's so crazy? Because shout out to my guy, Blue Diaz, because, you know, he been with his shorty for a minute, and he was telling me how he's ready to get married because I'm influencing people out here to get married.
Look at you.
Like,
Steering them.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I ain't gonna front, because honestly, since I've been married, or since I've been in this relationship for a while, but since I've been married and we ain't been going through no real issues like that, I don't have the need to really worry about other situations or going places and trying to get the women and going places and worrying about the women. I got more focus on my business and my children and my job and just doing things. I don't now have to chase and worry about a woman because I'm off the market. I'm off the market. Like, go ahead. Yo, ladies, go ahead, mama. I'm in this club to have a good time, maybe film, network, you know, do a show. I ain't worried about you, mama. So don't think I'm here to try to bag you. If my lady ain't there with me at the spot, she home right there taking care of shit, I'm waiting to go back home to my family.
The only reason I'm in here is because I'm getting paid.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm here on some business shit. So that also is what this does for me. It takes me off the market to me going anywhere and even have to worry about any of that. I don't have to worry, I'm gonna get a shorty tonight. I don't care. I'm not here for that. And women know that too. From once they see you with this ring on, they know he married. So they may try to test you or whatever.
But they definitely don't test.
Right, but they know that you ain't here for them. Right. So whatever else you doing, whether you chilling with a drink at the bar, just vibing, they know you. If she ain't there with you, you got somebody at home.
You gotta be somewhere at some point.
Exactly. So get the fuck up out of here. Exactly.
If I want to test it, I know it's going home eventually.
Word up. Oh, yeah, babe. Look, she on here like, I can't with you. Yeah. That's right. That's how I feel now. So I'm happy to be married again. Like,
so
I feel
what
good.
do you say about the fact, right? We were talking about things being created. Right? Right now, you have subscribed to a what do you call it? To a ritual, let's say, that its original intended purpose was to create the productive Caucasian male, right? Men prior to marriage were having multiple sexual relations,
right. But we all go through that, even if we're married.
They were having multiple sexual, and the productivity of that man was significantly reduced. So they passed a law that said one man had to be married to one woman. And once that law was passed and it became right or ritual, then productivity from the men increased. And that, just like the police, right, started from slavery or slave catching, and now it's our sort of social safety net. Marriage originally started from, having to try and get men to be more productive in their work and less, with the fuckery.
Well, it's working for me.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's getting me not focused on trying to be out here looking at ass and feet and titties. Trying to see if I could bring something home or to a hotel. Like, it lets everybody know that, look, I ain't here for that, mama. And I like that. I like the pressure of that being off me.
I see my guy GVO. Big shout out to GVO Tahi. I see you.
Yeah.
He says communication is key, but having a foundation as an individual is even more important. I'm with you there, brother, for sure. Right? Like, we gotta bring, I think, the healthy way to exist in a relationship is to bring your full circle of love for self into the middle. And then that other person brings their full self or love of self into the middle. And then that forms that strong union there. And communication definitely lubricates the wheels when you come to misunderstanding. But
This burnt popcorn pretty good.
see, you was making fun of it earlier.
That liquor that kicked in.
Big shout to my moms. They're all my stepmoms, you know, by marriage, but she was around forever, and she loves burnt popcorn.
It's pretty good.
That's where I get it from.
Shout out to after this event, we going to Chris Welch's show right around the corner.
But I love her like my mom. She knows that. We don't need to stepmoms. We're too close.
And this is your father's wife.
My father's wife.
Yeah, that's what's up. See, that's the thing now. I want my son to be just as accepting of my wife as you are to your father's wife.
Yeah, I do it, man.
You know what I mean? Like, I want anybody to love who I love.
She had a significant influence on my life.
You know?
Her mother. You know, our grandmother, right? She was like this, you know, pretty, you know, she ain't really want nothing to do with us to a large degree. Or at least me, I don't know. I don't know what that
Me and grandma was tight.
Grandma ain't want nothing to do. I don't know.
You lived in the same building as her.
I know. Went and got her paper every Sunday. I wasn't really like that. But my stepmother's mother, art, drama, theater, you know, we'd hang out. She was great.
I know we ain't eating popcorn and everything, but just so y'all know, is my blood cousin, my first cousin. We grew up together. I got plenty of history with him. Actually, if y'all looking at me on the lot right now, this cut right here on my lip, he did that shit, playing around with a knife with me.
Did I?
Yeah, you did, motherfucker.
I don't remember that.
It's when we lived in Brooklyn on some street. What's the street with y'all lived in the brownstone?
Oh, Macon.
Macon in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh,
I lived with a lot of family members when I was younger because we was like the black sheep of the family. We was homeless a lot. So we stayed with family members, which was cool because it built my bond with a lot of my cousins and shit like that. And this is one of them that's here today with me on the show. And he's doing very well for himself. And I'm proud of him. And it's all love. His DNA involved in his. That's my guy. You know, that's my blood. And his mother and my mother are sisters. You know what I mean? So that's real right there. That's why he's here. But we talked about the slavery thing and everything like that. We talked about marriage and all of that. But I want to get into what is it that you have to say about economics and the culture and stuff like that, and what is it that you have to say about taxes and things of that sort, and businesses and investments and things like that, because that's why you're here today.
Well, you know, I appreciate that. The opportunity to share those thoughts, I think it's very important. I touched on it earlier. In our community, it's very simple. In what I deem the Afro-American community, our stature, our social hierarchy is, in my opinion, consistently eroding to the other cultures and ethnicities who are seeming to prosper while we continue to devolve, right? And if we're going to affect any change, as much as you want to see people in the streets, perhaps, or whatever it is, you know, social movements and the like, I think the true course to power in America is through economic power. That's the thing that moves the needle more than anything else. And while our spending dollars have true power, our economic influence dollars are meager is best at best, right? We're super popular during the presidential primaries.
Why would we have a spending power of $3 trillion, but yet we don't own nothing?
Because we have been trained as people for as long as we've been allowed to be trained to be consumers. And through our education,
consumers of our own culture,
consumers of material possessions and things we were deprived of, consumers of just about anything we can work to buy, right? We have traded in our collective communal responsibility for our own safety and economic growth for our individual consumerist material possession. And it's weakened our unity, it's weakened our collective communities, it's weakened our family structure, and now it has us, in my opinion, socially weakened.
what do you think we can do to get that back?
Well, man, that's a spider web of solution. I think
Your opinion.
my opinion. I think the first thing you have to do is really, poor people are poor not because they don't have cash, because they're misinformed. That's the first thing. So to fight poverty, I think first you have to be better informed about what money is, what our economic structure is, and what avenues you have available to you, right? I think you just have to generally have an understanding of economics, finance, taxes.
So basically, we gotta
anything that has to do with
we gotta be debunked to want to go shopping every time we come into some money.
You know,
That's a mental thing that we gotta fix mentally. That's a lot bigger than just coming together as a people. We gotta mentally get out of it.
You know, a lot of the things that we suffer from in our community are sort of internalized, generational, biochemical sort of programming, right?
Yo, I hang out with a lot of white people
Perpetuated
too,
over
and
time.
they like brands and names too. They wear Gucci shoes and Gucci stuff, and they buy that too.
Sure. Do their communities have the same impact? Are they under the same sort of historical, generational, oppressive
Definitely not,
circumstances
but
we are?
They are just as flashy as we like to be.
Right. And the difference is, you know, not to be a hater, because I don't want to be a hater. I like to look good. I like to, you know, have nice things.
You got on Ray-Bans right now.
I do.
And I look like a Louis sweater.
You know, I'm not opposed to nice things. My point is, at what point do we, so you can't have it both ways, right? You can't say on one hand, my community is impacted, I'm upset with what's happening in my community, but the nature of those issues, in my opinion, in the community are directly attributed to our economic, you know, circumstance,
right?
And our economic circumstance is directly, in my opinion, attributed to our transition from what was our collective economic growth and prosperity in the 30s, 40s, 50s, where we had to protect each other from the Caucasian burning our shit down, or we had to barter, you know, and trade and do business with each other because Jim Crow laws wouldn't let us do business with each other, right? Or with the other side, right? And so now we had unity in our community. We were there for each other. But now, you know, you go through 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then we pivot to this materialist, individualized culture that is, you know, really about, you know, sort of
but when you
looking
think about it,
like success, but
slave
really
masters would make
the
the slaves wear their
balance
best
sheet
to go to that church.
Say it again.
Slave masters will make the slaves wear their best to go to that church.
Yeah, no,
this was a religion that was forced onto the slaves.
Yeah, well, hold on. Religion looking good on Sunday ain't a religion. I don't know. All right, like
they made them wear their best though.
I don't know if they made them wear their best. My understanding, they allowed them to look other than their working selves, and I don't want to call it work because it was, you know.
It wasn't worth it. They wasn't getting paid.
I don't mean to undercut it, right? They definitely wasn't getting paid. The labor, right? But yes, on Sundays you were allowed to look something other than, and so we've taken that, and right, yeah, we were allowed to look something other than on Sundays, but we were still slaves Monday through Saturday, right? So, or even on Sunday too, we just didn't look the part. So today, I'm not calling us slaves, but economically we are severely enslaved in a capitalist culture that doesn't allow us to economically prosper in a real way based off of our own creativity and the like. So what are we gonna do? We just gonna continue to look good on Sunday, or are we gonna make real headways into, you know, being something other than?
If we working for a check and we live check to check, we're practically indentured servants.
Facts.
So a job means just over broke.
100%.
You're paid a labor to help another rich man get richer by doing the labor of what he needs to keep his company running.
But you
So-
paid a little. You paid a wage that you buy stuff for.
That's
right?
the same. That's the same thing that Guyanese people were done. What they were treated during slavery time back then, and that's why they feel like they're not slaves; they're indentured servants because they were paid for their service.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst black people were
Oh, like in the
forced.
sugarcane fields, they were paid whatever.
They were paid, so they feel like they're indentured servants as opposed to being slaves.
Whatever, nigga. I don't hear that.
You feel like that? I work with a lot of them.
That's great, and you know, I won't pull anybody's reality out from under their feet, reality rug out from under their feet, but you know,
That's
in
just like
today's
people feeling
time,
like the Holocaust was equal to slavery.
no, people don't. Well,
See that new
Yeah.
movie with Eddie Murphy in it?
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
We watched that. Did we watch that? Oh no, we were talking about it.
Yeah,
But we didn't
I
watch
watched
it
it a few
together.
times.
Yeah. You know, I don't agree with that, but they're both, you know, atrocities. But one is, you know, I think clearly and
A lot of Jewish
obviously
people
more
feel like that.
significant. But I don't think anybody wins when you're sort of comparing the horror of atrocities, right? Like, I would
Fire Vibes was good, my guy.
You know. Let me see what we got here.
Shout out to my guy Fire Vibes. It's on a live.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Definitely got to come back out there to Miami, vibe with you. You know what I'm saying? But how much more time we got? All right, we gonna play some music, and then we're gonna come back with some more. We're gonna end the show off. But I just want to get into some music. We're gonna vibe. I ate all the is popcorn. You know what I'm saying?
Popcorn adds a little punch to the mic when they chew.
Yo, listen, when you're independent,
Word for a quick second.
and you can do things your way, you can do things your way. That's just what it is. So this what I opened the show with was the instrumental to a new record that I got coming out with Blue Diaz. For everybody that don't know, me and Blue Diaz is making a lot of hits together. So I just wanted to say shout out to Blue Diaz, and I appreciate everything that he's been doing. You know? And the new single we got out there is Queens Get the Money. And I want to go into just the sounds of it real quick on this music break, and I'm gonna come back with more. You already know this Grindhard TV. You got like 14 minutes. Only 58 minutes? I'm live saying an hour and 15.
So you like it?
Still some more music drag out around here? Yo, where you at? So what? Right at home.
Oh, yeah.
Where right now? Right around the corner.
I ain't seen you in a minute, man. I've been Brooklyn. I'm have to get at you. Don't let me leave it before I get it. Be good to see you face to face, bro.
Shout out Blue Diaz for the beats. My guy's lit. Rocky.
Yeah. I can do my glasses.
You crack my style, you block my flow. You hurt my heart, you rip my soul. Where you be at, I just don't know. Girl, now you gotta
Lou,
go.
what's goody?
Go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go, go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby.
You grip my style, you block my flow.
When you hang out with your girls, you don't let me know. Not trying to say your ass is fast, but you might be, yo. Telling me it's a hard task, but you ask for dough. Whoa.
Not happy, you want me to stop
Capping, you want me to stop napping.
supporting is what you lacking. You're hating, I'm not jacking. Playing, I'm more facts when I tell you to get your shit, my slick, and get it happy, cuz.
You crack my style, you block my flow.
Shout out my nigga Joey on the hook.
My soul, where you be at,
Video coming soon. Girl, now you gotta go. Go, baby.
go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby.
I don't understand why this girl be trying to play me. This love shit is kind of scary because every time it's driving me crazy. All I do is try to love you, but you mentally betray me. Raised a boy to a man and he wasn't even my baby shit. You want some stitches, you take my kindness for weakness because my body's the deepest. You inspire me with sweetness, but them sour love, you got me smoking sour bud, and I want you out in an hour, bitch. Relationship is a dub.
You crack my style, you block my flow. You hurt my heart, you rip my soul.
Where you be at, I just don't know. Girl, now you gotta go, girl, baby.
Go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby.
Ooh, what happened with that?
Once again, pick up to my nigga Jack. My man Paul, Evelyn, you know it's going down. Moses, how many two niggas on G? 2004, Max Show.
Shout out my guy, Mama Dog.
He ain't doing you right. Seems like you wanna take flight.
This on the mixtape volume 2, hosted by Ron G.
Giving yourself to me can never be wrong. If your love is strong, nobody open my way. Spend the night, I can give you loving, girl. Come on and go with me. He ain't doing you right. Seems like you wanna take flight to my place. Hey, spend the night, I can give you loving, girl. Let's tie right. Giving yourself to me can never be wrong. If your love is strong, come on over my way. Spend the night, loving, girl.
That's why you don't get dope. You say, you can't go with it.
And you found out it's cheating
I
on
like
you.
that.
But this is something you already knew. The baby and the change, it just remain the same. Can you really go
I just saw that you left.
break me?
I watched it before I came. It's good. Yeah, it's fine. He ended it. He waited to save the Will Smith shit all the way to the end. Just did a little bit.
That you love straight when you know you don't. You
Cool,
know you
Will
feel
Smith.
for me, but
Watch
you know
your
you
pictures.
won't. That you know you got it so petrified. He's the reason why you see him cry tonight.
It's selective violence.
Seems like you wanna take flight with my baby. Spend the night, I can give you loving, girl. Let's take
Everybody
never be wrong if your love is strong. My baby, spend the night, I can give you loving, girl.
All right, no lie. All right, no lie. This nigga was fucking. He said, that's the funny part. He said, niggas, this is that fuck by him to do. But niggas don't get interviewed. He's like, so how was it, guys?
He said, so what happens if I fuck your girl? Like, oh, I just fucked my son's friend. What do you guys think about that?
I'm not gonna lie, he flipped it. He flipped it.
It was a good show, man. It was on hours. I watched it. So I watched it right fucking. Yeah, that was wrong.
The nigga was my Howard Ali. I was goofy.
Yeah. He said, I was smoking.
So when you can understand, why don't you take my hand? Listen, baby. It's hurt my heart. It's so popular, right? To see you like that. You know what I'm saying? Too pretty, man. You gotta build.
Oh, I forgot to do it.
Because I can't get it. I know it's something wrong. You know, knowing that he's not the man that you want. You know, you call me up to the morning.
Yeah.
You want me to come get you, man?
Yeah. So yeah, we back. We did a little music break. You know, I threw a little bit of tracks on from Blue Diaz from the new record we got, and I threw on something off the Mad Soul mixtape Volume 2, Papa Don. You know what I'm saying? Come on and go with me. Shout out my dude Papa Don and shit. I used to work with him back in the days. Do some managerial marketing stuff with him and stuff like that. But before I came to the show today, I was watching Chris Rock's show on Hulu, and he went in and he said a couple things about. He said a lot of things actually, and you know, he was talking about a lot of different things, and he was talking about how one of the funny things that he said to me that I was laughing off of was when he was saying how the Kardashian father, he helped Will's, he helped, I'm talking about Will, he helped OJ get off of this murder charge of killing two white people, right? So he said God came down and told him, oh, since you want to help black people get off of killing two white people, oh, we're going to make sure that your children only fuck black men. And he was like, not the good black men. You're going to fuck the crackheads, talking about Lamar Odom. He said, you're going to fuck the schizophrenic, crazy motherfuckers, talking about Kanye West. Like, he was going in, you know what I'm saying? He also said that the Kardashians, they taking everybody. It's like whoever they want to deal with, like as long as you black, they're gonna take you in. Like, oh, come on in. You know what I'm saying? We taking everybody. He also said that he spoke about the Will Smith shit and how he got smacked. And what did he say about, what did he call it? He called it what? Something.
The name of the Netflix special is Selective Outrage.
So basically, they saying that he selectively picked Chris Rock because he played Pookie as a crackhead in New Jack City, while Will Smith played Muhammad Ali. He's a big 6 foot something strapping man, and he wanted to smack the shit out of Chris Rock. And he said, honestly, Jada Pinkett started that shit. He said that since he didn't want to resign from hosting the Oscars because they didn't nominate Will in that concussion whack movie, he called her a bitch. He said, this bitch wanted me to not host the Oscars because she said I didn't fall back from hosting it because they didn't nominate her husband for the concussion movie. He made a mistake first, and he said the newest movie he got is getting critically acclaimed, but because Will Smith got a lot of good movies. Let's not take nothing away from him. Let's keep it on it. Will Smith got a lot of good fucking movies. I like watching Will Smith on air. He's a dope ass fucking actor / rapper. You know what I mean? But all throughout Chris Rock's joint, he was like throwing little shots at other rappers. He was like, I don't want to get no rappers mad. So he was like leading up into the last 5 minutes of his whole hour-long Netflix show about the Will Smith shit. So what he said about, he even said something about Jay-Z. He said something about a couple of rappers, but he was like, I don't want to get any rappers riled up. But then when he finally got to the Will Smith part, he said he had selective outrage, where he picked Chris Rock to slap as opposed to fucking up August Alsina for digging his wife's back out. And instead, he let his wife interview him on her show and say, so yeah, I fucked our son's friend. What do you think about it? And turned the mic to the people like if it was Will Smith. And he was just sitting there angry. He said, Chris Rock said that he understands that it wasn't about Chris Rock. He said he understands that it was about a whole bunch of other shit that was going on because he said everybody in the industry was calling him a bitch and a bitch and a bitch for them. Because way before that Oscar thing happened and Chris Rock got slapped, people were already coming at Will Smith for sounding like a real sucker for letting Jada Pinkett fuck August Alsina and him not doing nothing about it. So
What was he supposed to do? Block the dick from going in?
He couldn't have.
Jump in before?
Oh shit! Here we got is now.
Like, what was the guy
devil's
exactly
advocate
supposed to do to prevent his wife from fucking another man?
He was supposed to either whip his ass or smack the shit out of
Yeah,
her.
but that's post dick entry. That's not pre.
But still,
Right?
all right. So a man finds his wife fucking a guy, and he comes in and kills both of them. Sometimes dudes get off from mental anguish, mental distress. So Will gets on a Facebook Red Table talk show, and Boogie Back was good. He gets on a Red Table talk show that's huge, and he lets his wife explain how she had
his wife? Let his wife?
Yeah, he let her.
That's
because
her show.
He could have easily stopped that and said, listen, honey, I ain't doing no fuck shit like this when you fuck this young boy, our son's friend, and you parading him around all around the world, letting him dig your back out and you sucking his cock, and now you want me on your show to talk about how I feel about you doing that? What the fuck? Would you have done some shit like that?
Well, I don't know. I guess it would depend on what I was doing. If I was, digging out.
I'm
some
sure
young
Will
rappers,
Smith
then
fucked
I
a
would
lot of
say
girls in his
it's
time
But
because
also, I would say, if the Red Table Talk Show is her show, if he knew ahead of time that it was going to be the topic of discussion, then yeah, maybe he probably.
So does that not make him a sucker
But
by doing
no,
that shit?
I don't think if it was sprung on him in the moment and he just was there, then it is what it is. But if he knew ahead of time and he chose to go and sit down anyway, I don't think that makes him a sucker. I think it shows a little bit of courage, a little bit of bravery to sit down there, know that your wife is going to ask these questions, and you still going to be able to keep your composure.
It seemed like it was a
talk about
surprise
what
when
it
she was like, well, when I had this
do what it
entanglement,
is.
he said, you call it an entanglement? That's what you calling it? Like, they didn't come up with that. She said entanglement, and he was like, what do you mean entanglement? Is that what you call it, an entanglement? So in my mind, I'm thinking, bitch, you sucking this nigga dick and fucking him in all these Four Seasons hotels and everywhere we going as a family. I'm going to the damn pool, and you let this nigga dig your back out in the bathroom while I'm out there. He's there as Jaden's friend, and you telling me it's an entanglement? No, bitch, you was cheating on me like crazy. But I'm sure Will Smith probably fucked a couple of girls on her too, because he was always a big star.
She was supposed to be mentoring him.
See?
You gotta make sure you add the word. She was supposed to be mentoring.
See, I'm not familiar with all.
So she was mentoring his dick
as well,
basically, because if she had him around and she started sleeping with him, then obviously she already looked at him from the very beginning and thought that he was a sexy, attractive young black man. Women know instantly. Soon as they see a motherfucker, they'll say in their mind, "Oh, I'll fuck him." They know it. They know it, nigga. Ain't no mishap in that shit.
If it was the reverse and it was
if Will Smith was fucking one of Willow's friends and had her around, it would be a whole Me Too movement against him. So that's why it's not right. Because he would be canceled. They canceled him for smacking her over being annoyed of her fucking around on him with one of their child's friends. But if Will Smith smacked her,
if he had sex with Willow's friend,
right,
after setting it up as if he was
the
mentoring her in the business,
yes,
and then turn around,
he would have went down.
It would have been him being a predator,
yep,
bringing her in to teach her the business, and then using his power to take advantage of her sexually. And that you just ain't gonna. But in reverse, it's the female taking control of her power, her female power, her sexual power, and she's wielding it at her discretion. And good for her.
Now don't get it twisted. I love Will Smith movies and Jada Pinkett movies and all that. I just want to say that I do love y'all movies. Y'all got some really good movies, but that was some foul shit. And like you said, it was kind of brave for them to put that out there, because that kind of put them on Front Street, so that everybody that would have gossiped and said shit about it, they already put it out there, so nobody could really came to.
They took advantage of that story. They used that.
So we gotta applaud them for that. You know what I'm saying? We definitely.
I don't see how they calling Will Smith for something. You come up, the wife fucked another dude. You gonna come on her show and you gonna talk about it. That's not cowardly to me. That's bravery.
Yeah, you got a point there. See, that's what I like, having extra sound mind persons here that can really like let me see things in another perspective and articulate it in a way the way I can really understand it, as opposed to us debating back and forth. But I know for a fact that if my wife, I call her fucking somebody else, oh, I'm gonna practically kill you, bitch.
Listen, somebody said on a live, well, why didn't his wife go to jail? Why is it so easy for us as men to sweep that under the rug?
Because as men, we're supposed to be a lot tougher. And we're supposed to be able to deal with shit. Just like, for instance, like we're out there working 24/7, working hard to provide for the family, while the mother's home supposed to be taking care of family. But a lot of times the mother's home fucking the downstairs neighbor. And they get away with it with pinning kids on motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
And it's been like that for years.
Exactly.
Since the wars, you know.
I just seen on something online that there's a whole bunch of dads out there that are not really the dads to a lot of kids, especially out of Jamaica. There's a lot of fucking kids that think that somebody that's their dad is not their dad.
I think that was happening with the world wars too, like with the world wars and stuff like that. When all the men was going,
right?
A lot of
the wives were out there fucking these soldiers, and then bringing that baby home to their husbands, making the husband believe that they were the fathers, when they was really, the wives were out there whoring and fucking these soldiers, these strapping young soldiers that were fighting for the fucking service. I'm telling you, most of them were black. I'm telling you, a lot of black people that fucked a lot of these Europeans in these countries that they were in, they are fucking a lot of them, bro. For real. And these women went home to their husbands, made their husbands believe that, oh, this is your child. The only way some husband will stop at the gate when that baby might have came out a totally different color from them two. And they was like, hold up. Whoa. Something right here.
What's the TV show? The cartoon over the Hill, son.
Oh, the Hill?
With the Hill.
Oh, yeah, with the Indian kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they have it.
Yes,
the father don't know that ain't his child.
Right.
And it's the dude from up the block.
Yeah, he look just like the dude.
Exactly.
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
But you know what's so crazy about that shit? I just went through that, man. Like, again, like I said it, and I say it a lot because it's like therapy for me, so I kind of see why Will Smith did it. You know what I'm saying? And I empathize with him on that because I talk about this shit, because if I don't talk about it and I hold it in, it can affect me. It can affect my kidneys. It could affect a lot of organs in my body from me holding in some type of frustration about shit like that. But yeah, my ex-wife pinned a child on me that I thought was mine for 26 years. And it really wasn't. So a lot of us got out there. So I can sit on my podcast and talk about this shit, but I'm talking about it from experience. So I'm not just here fucking capping and telling y'all niggas what it is. I've been through it, and I know it. I understand the hurt. So I kind of understand what Will Smith was going through and shit. But at the same time, you know, if you ain't do something to Jada or August Alsina about it to smack Chris Rock, I think that was just some whack shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a funny joke. You laughed. It was funny. So when she gave you that look, it wasn't about her having alopecia, because she ain't have alopecia when she was sucking August dick. You ain't care about that alopecia shit then.
About Tupac.
And well, Tupac was before Will Smith, so I can't even really say nothing about that. But they were fully married into their marriage for years. And August Alsina came around as, you know what I'm saying, Jaden's friend. And she was supposed to be mentoring him. So you mentoring his cock all up in your ass and pussy and mouth, as opposed to just mentoring him mentally. Because when I looked at him on that show, because it was a show with him and a couple of other people on there, like some shit with Dennis Rodman and all of them, one of them reality shows, he's definitely mentally, he definitely has something going on with him. You know what I'm saying? And she took advantage of that. From seeing how he are and how he articulates, it was easy for her to take advantage of him and manipulate his mind to be her little sex boy toy. It was easy for her to do that. From seeing how he reacted on that reality show, he's a very emotional young man.
Okay.
And it was easy for her to manipulate him.
He's a bug out.
You know what I'm saying? You say she's a what?
So basically, he's a bug out.
Yeah, he definitely.
What's a bug out?
Whatever he means, I know that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Boogie, like, we got a little bit of time up here. You want to get Boogie up here and talk about the mag? Like, because I'm in that shit. So I want you to get up here. You know what I mean? And let's talk about that. I mean, let's get Boogie Black in. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for, you know what to do. Now, stay right there, Ice. Boogie Black, we're going to get Boogie. Thanks, man. You know what it is. Boogie Black right here. You know what it does. You know what I'm saying? One of them. You know what I mean? So we got Boogie Black in the building too as well. Love when niggas pull up. Hold up.
Yo. Mr. Kid,
Yeah.
Good to be here, Wonder Mama.
You already know. So Boogie Black is an artist, S.STREET Media family. And right now you've been running around promoting a lot of different things that you got going on. Like I already was feeling the music already. You got a single A and a B side, and I fucks with it. You know what I'm saying? Bitch is lit. I know the shit. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta, you know what I mean? Like I like what you're doing, and you know what I'm saying? You now have a magazine out. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it right now. It's looking pretty official. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Y'all can't fuck with me, no way. Yeah, we see it. Chris Rock. We talked about Chris Rock earlier. Chris Welch's is on the cover. You know what I'm saying? It's looking pretty lit in here.
You know, he told me about some. Hey, you gonna let me get that for free? Free.
Yo, I already hit you when you posted this. Did you not see me hit you up? And I was like, yo, send me what we got Cash App, nigga. Is this my copy?
Nah, that's
No, that's his episode. That's it.
Okay, all right. So I can hit you. Hey, oh, you see that, baby? You see that? Yeah. I'm glad you pulled up today, baby. We want to talk about this right here. Okay. Family, shout out to Family Vibes and all that. Grindhard TV podcast, a whole shit.
What's the name of the magazine?
The magazine is the Family Vibes Music Magazine.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I got a whole little interview here, World of Drama, got the Grindhard TV podcast cover, S.STREET Media in the background. Hey, yo, can you get the money advertisement? Yo, okay, we lit it here. This is my magazine right here, baby. You know what I'm saying? On the other side, we got KC. You know, got to be that eye candy. So when we corner the market on all of the jails and sit in together, you know what I'm saying? You know, them niggas, R.I.P. K Slade. R.I.P. K Slade. We know what your magazines did for all of the niggas that's locked down. So now we got the Family Vibes Music Magazine. We can definitely have the shorties in here. So shout out KC, looking good, baby. And I can say that because, I'm a married man now, but I can still send these books up. You know what I mean?
She gonna be calling your phone.
I can send this to the ooh, look at that baby! I think I met her before, right? She was at an event or something like that, right?
She a singer? What's her deal?
So y'all, if y'all want to know about her, just get the Family Vibes Music Magazine. It's a QR code on the joint, but where can they find it at? Boogie Top?
You can find it at actually go to umadpublishing.com. Or you can just DM me for the information. And
tell them again.
All right. Hey, y'all can go to www.magcloud or umag.com and find it there and look up the Family Vibes Music Magazine. Or y'all can just DM me or DM Jerry Fontello at Fontello Studios on Instagram for the information.
I heard of Fontello Studios before. Yeah, they doing their thing. Shout out Jerry and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you are actually the head person that takes care of all of this and stuff like that?
Yeah. Actually, I just want him to actually do it. He's trying to let me do the publishing as far as doing the book and all that.
Right.
But I don't know how to do all that. So look,
I'm saying you can learn and do everything. Like I ain't even gonna front.
I got too much going on. I can't understand. I got too much going on, brother. You know.
Tell everybody what you got going on, man. Let's go. We got some time here. Let's go.
All right. Well, shit. I got another album coming out. It's called the Boogie Black Album Volume 2, The Impeccable Thoughts of Love.
Produced by who?
It's mainly produced by Almighty Nate, JP Beats, India. Shout out to India. It's also the producer Bass Bit that's on the magazine. He's on there. He's on there too. That's him right there.
His name is Bass Bit.
Yeah. Sebastian. I call him Sebastian, but that's his name. But that's
you know Bass Bit. Oh,
yeah.
So for Sebastian, good.
He actually produced the song End of Both Worlds.
Oh, okay. So, End of Both Worlds. What you mean? The Jay-Z and R. Kelly shit?
Hell
That's the best of both.
Yeah, that's the best.
So
So
what's
I
the
did
end
the
of
song to that. That's
What's the end of both voice?
after going off the best of both worlds, the song I did on the first one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's going off for that. And then, I got shout out to Avia, the producer. I got him on it. And then I'm also coming out with another album called Demon Time.
So, like, explain that to me because you were like a younger rapper and stuff like that. So, explain to the people what Demon Time means.
Oh yeah. Before I want to explain that, I want to get to my podcast. My podcast is called the Family Vibes Podcast Radio Show.
Oh,
Besides
okay.
the book, so it's going to actually be starting next week on March 11th.
Okay.
And it's mainly produced by myself and Math. So y'all check into it next week on Saturday. We will be live doing this and doing that.
So what's the Family Vibes magazine about?
I was gonna actually name it the Liddy God magazine, but
So who made you do it? The Family Vibe joint?
mommy, my mother, she
Oh,
said,
okay.
"Hey, that Liddy God, you doing too much with that boy. Go ahead and change that."
And words change,
Yeah. So I had to, for Mama Love, I had to change the name and made it simple.
That's what's up,
Yeah.
man.
We was talking about Chris Rock earlier, right? I know you heard that joke about Chris Rock. He was saying how, there's 4 ways to get attention, right? We're trying to get attention in this world, right? And 4 ways, right? First way, you can show your ass. Easiest way, right? Best way, quickest way. Second way, you can be infamous, do something that, did something, Timothy McVeigh blew up some shit or whatever, infamy, right? Third way was excellence, do something excellent, right? I don't know, Carl Lewis or John Lewis or whatever, excellence. And the fourth way was, it's escaping me, the fourth way, what he said, right? But it was, some sort of stature, right? Oh, sorry about that. But the easiest way was to show your ass. And then I open up this magazine and I'm just looking at an ass, like this straight an ass on this cover. So like, I wonder if there's any talent around it. If you got to show your ass, do you have a real talent?
I mean, to be honest with you, that's just a magazine. It don't really count as the person. That's just, the brand of the person, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
So
I shouldn't read into it.
Well, you're thinking too much.
Okay.
That's number 5 too. Y'all can put that at number 5.
Okay.
Thinking.
Right.
So that's another situation as far as that. But as far as those, for those who are in the book, they do have talent.
These are all artists, right?
Yes, and especially Najuice. I actually worked on a song with her. I actually did work on a song with her. It was actually called Drip Drip.
DC.
But she didn't really get, and then the manager, what you call them that be doing engineering.
Okay.
So he trying to get more money out of everybody, trying to get more money out of me and her. How you do the song.
Real heavy in that book right there, boy.
Exactly on the scene.
Word up.
You look a little smoky right here.
Oh yeah, I'm lit right there. Now. we be up here sipping and shit like that. But yo, it's over. It's finished. Yo, so Boogie Black, like tell everybody like where they can get the magazine and stuff like that.
Once again, y'all can get the magazine. Y'all can actually first of all, y'all can actually go to my DM or DM me at Boogie Black, BOOGIEE Black. You know what I mean? That's my Instagram at Boogie Black, or all social media platforms. Or you could talk to Jerry Fontello at Fontello Studios.
Actually, they can't talk to Jerry Fontello. They got to talk to you to get to Jerry Fontello.
Oh shit, you can do either or. Guys. You
You the guy. You the guy. You the guy controlling that. The way I see you out here moving with that. So I'm gonna go extra hard because I'm all in that joint. I'm gonna go extra hard. So and just so I want everybody to know out there that's listening on live or whatever that's paying attention or gonna see it on a rebroadcast, like Grindhard TV
We air every Sunday from 4:30 to 6:30, sometimes 5 to 7. You know how we do it. We are home businessmen, so we can do things how we want to do them. You know what I'm saying? We also come on Anchor. I drop episodes on Anchor as well, and that also airs on Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, and Copy RSS. So we're on a lot of different platforms. So S.STREET Media, all of the ones I just named, and we're now we are syndicated on 365 Live every Sunday every Thursday at 8 o'clock. So we're also on Live 365. You can go to live365.com, and we're on that too as well at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. So aside from the podcast being on Instagram, S.STREET Media, Anchor, and all the Spotify and all the other channels, we're also now on Live 365. You know what I mean? Okay. Live 365, and every Thursday at 8 p.m. And we just got a lot of things going on aside from Grindhard TV being on UBC TV Network, which is on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, and Glue TV, and a bunch of other platforms. Like, we out there, man. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to pay attention. So when we big up brands and we big up people and coming on the platform, we got a lot of different platforms that we're on, and we coming on all over the world in a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people, they're really focused on like the major platforms. So I named Spotify. So if all you people that's out there know about Spotify, you can catch us on Spotify. Grindhard TV podcast on Spotify. And everything else, but I think you guys will probably be just focused on the Spotify thing. So that's why, you can go to Spotify and you can listen to Grindhard Audio, and it will be Grindhard TV podcast on there. It's about Word Around with the Hoff. Shout out to the Hoffs and everybody that's involved with it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the Family Vibes Music Magazine. Boogie Black, you are actually the creative director of this magazine. That's the position I just gave you, because that's what you be doing. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate me getting in this magazine through you, and that's a fact. I want to give a big shout out to, you know what I'm saying, is now.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? AKA Ice, AKA economics guy, and about the business and stuff like that. Do you want to tell anybody anything about their taxes and doing their taxes, because it is tax season? So I think you need to start bigging that up.
I don't know if we got a big up tax season, but definitely, if April 15th is coming around, you did mention the quarters. I would say that we are in the third month of the first quarter, which will end March 31st, and you got to get your business taxes in. I don't know. You want to, right? We talk about it, the estate, and, I manage some things, and we got some stuff to do or whatever, but, I think our community is going to serve ourselves better when we learn how to use what's on the books to our advantage, rather than railing against the things that, maybe cause us challenge, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm about. I'm about reading the information, using the statute to my advantage, structuring entities that allow us to, take full advantage of tax avoidance. Tax avoidance isn't a crime.
Right.
Dodging your taxes, not paying them, that's definitely a crime.
But when you avoid them, like, say, for instance, you got to get more time to do it and stuff like that.
Not like delaying them. I'm talking about structuring your professional business entity, your LLC, your C, your S Corp, your trust, your nonprofit, whatever it is. You structure it in a way that positions your operation to avoid certain tax burdens that are required on you by the federal government.
Right.
And, understanding those nuances and applying them to your particular structure, whatever it is, a magazine, a publisher, as it were, or a media publisher, a digital publisher, or a production studio house, or a distribution channel. Any of those things can be structured in a way that can, bring you a little bit of a, there's a saying, right? The best way to grow wealth is to, decrease your tax burden. So I think that's a
So
good
basically,
spot.
it's basically saying you got to get a lot of write-offs to decrease your tax burden. There's no other way, really, except for having children. How could you decrease your tax burden?
Well, you're thinking, see, all due respect, you're thinking from a 1040 perspective, right? Because most of us have been trained to be 1040 income earners, right? But still, there are our self-employed folks, and there's really our capital gains, our passive investors, and our business owners. They are not concerned about the earned income tax credit. You know, they're concerned about depreciation, which is a big thing, you know, thankful. Whichever way you go politically, you got to give Donald Trump a lot of credit if you're taking advantage of what he wrote into, or what, you know, proponents of his legislation drafted into law. I'm not a Biden guy. No way.
Either am I.
I've never been a Biden guy. I think, you know, not to go too hard, but, you know, my black people, right? The prison industrial complex was directly built on the back of Joe Biden and Bill Clinton. So, and that decimated our community for generations. Why would I vote for that guy and think I'm gonna get something different just because he's pandering to me now? I didn't.
And when you say that, you mean Joe Biden and Bill Clinton and the Democratic Party? Because black people are fooled to believe that the Democratic Party is really for them. When Democratic Party was the party that actually just wanted to keep slavery going for the free labor.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Reagan was a Republican, and he brought in crack in the crack era.
Listen, it ain't
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, and he freed the slaves.
Did he?
Maybe.
It was under his administration that, you know, effectively civil.
Is that one of the reasons why he was assassinated?
It was talked about him being black.
Yeah,
he probably has some black in him.
Babe Ruth, another one with some.
Actually, our grandmother, her middle name comes from Babe Ruth.
Yeah. So there was a story about that.
That was right now. For everybody that don't know, like Isnal is my blood cousin. Our mothers are sisters. But at the same time, what y'all didn't know is, my last name is Bryant, and my grandmother's name was Helen Ruth Bryant. And the reason why her name was Helen Ruth Bryant, because her mother was the chef for Babe Ruth.
His personal nutritionist.
His personal nutritionist chef.
Yeah.
My great grandmother was Babe Ruth's personal nutritionist chef. And when my grandmother was born, she gave her Babe Ruth's name as her middle name. So that's where Helen Ruth Bryant comes in. Now, it's also another twist to that.
Actually, just to sort of, you know, add context.
Well, it was Boston.
It's Boston, right?
It was Helen Ruth Boston.
That's right.
And then my grandmother met our grandfather, who we spoke about earlier on. Right. And that's where she got Helen Ruth Bryant, because it was really Helen Ruth Boston. But another twist on that is that our grandfather, who you said was a German Jew, when his mother left, our grandfather, Julius.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
His mother took his mother's husband's last name. So in all actuality, the Bryant name that we promote and go hard for, that's really not our last name.
That's not. Right.
You know what I mean? So you see how that can work? Cousins. That's my blood cousin, my first cousin. So like we all could go, we have a lot of legacy going on with us that's really not even our legacy, if you think about it. Because if my grandfather, because you know women, they take the husband's name. So if the husband is running with a name that was from his stepfather, not even his real last name. So how could you really?
How do you really know what
your name is? Yeah. Really, we would be Bostons. But we don't even know from the lineage of that, if that's really legitimate. We don't know where that came from.
I know.
So there's so much stuff that went on during slavery that we don't even know who we really are. Our identities is not really defined with anything, because I go so hard with the Bryant family and this and that. Right, with our names, right. That's just like on Roots when they was whipping fucking Toby, and they were like, oh, what's your name? Kunta. And they was like, what's your name? Toby. He didn't want to say Toby, he wanted to keep Kunta. But that's just like me. I'm promoting Bryant and giving my last name to my wife, and that's not even truly my last name. Through generational separation and breakup through a bunch of things.
That's right.
Well, I mean, not to be funny, but at least I ain't got the last name like I got.
What?
Come on now.
Boogie Black?
My last name, brother.
The last name would be Black.
Let me tell you, brother, if you, whatever that last name is, if it represents your family and you got love there, then we honor that.
Sprinkle represents the family.
Sprinkle. That's a tough one.
Yo, guys, say your whole name, Boogie.
LaVar William Ernest Sprinkle.
LaVar William Ernest Sprinkle. Look at that. Wow.
Senior.
Senior.
Got a junior.
There you go.
Wow. Well, look, you know what? You got a name, you got a birth certificate, you have a life.
That's right.
And that's one of the things that we gotta really like say. Tell everybody where they can find you at and about your new music and all that. Cause we about to end the show.
All right. Y'all can find my new music on Boogie Black, streaming on all platforms. I already got the album out. It's been out since September. Go and cop that. It's online, streaming everywhere. And also, like I said, I'm coming out with another album. It's called the Boogie Black Album, Volume 2, The Impeccable Thoughts of Love. So y'all go ahead and check that out in the summertime. And in December, I'm coming out with the Demon Time album. So check into that too.
Tell them about the magazine again real quick. The Family Vibes.
And if anybody is actually interested, please, the prices and the information is right here on the last page. All right. So if anybody is interested in being part of the magazine, please hit me up on my IG. Once again, Boogie Black at BOOGIEE Black. Once again, BOOGIEE Black.
That's right. We gonna help you promote the magazine. So shout out Jerry Fontello. I seen him in the black. You seen him in the back. It's a young black brother doing his thing. And then think about it. Where does black motherfucker get the name Fontello from? So you already know like that. That's another little issue right there. Where, you know what I mean? You know what I got?
Hey, I got my name. You know, everybody keeps saying that we are Irish. And
does this guy look like a Fontello? Not at all. So you know, throughout the lineages of him, somebody was, you know, something happened. And it was, you know, it was mixed up in some kind of way.
There's people that keep saying that I'm white and I'm half white and all this.
Well, I know your white ancestors or your white people see you and they be like, "How the fuck?" Be like,
you know, there's a white pianist that was called Leopold Sprinkle.
Oh well, you do your research. You might have some history in that right there. But you got to remember, a lot of us could have been married into something and not really have that bloodline. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I thought I was related to Kobe Bryant due to that last name, but look, my grandfather took his stepfather's last name and passed it on down to a whole generation of us, and that's really not our last name.
You know, I thought I was related to Larry Sprinkle, the weather guy in Charlotte.
I would have actually been a Gash. My mom's told me my father's name was Gash.
Gash?
Yeah, because I don't know my father, so she just told me what name it is. How do I know she telling the truth? But you know, that's my mom's and I love her. Yo, is now you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, it was good to be here. Good to meet you, brother.
Good to meet you too, brother.
You know, we out here, right? Get educated. Economics is in my opinion, the true road to our salvation as a community out here in America, more than anything else. So get with it. Inform yourselves, educate yourselves. I'm Isaiah Is Now. You can call me Is Now. You know me as Ice back in the days. Is Universal Light. You can find me on Isaiah_is_now at IG or ispowernow.tv. And you know, we out here trying to share information and let people know economics. Look at the true numbers, right? Social welfare, red line, and all of these things, affirmative action, all of these things have debilitated our community. We got to get back to Black excellence. We got to get back to determining our true value based on our creative, our intellectual, and our spiritual prowess, and take advantage of that, monetize that, use it to our benefit, stick together, we'll find our way.
So look, that's what it is. We out here. Grindhard TV podcast every Sunday. You already know it is S.STREET here. We'll be back next week. You already know. Go home.
Yeah. That is good.